You know, if there's one thing that every single gamer and their mother on this planet know about IGN, is that their opinion on Sonic games isn't very good.
Oh hell no!
I mean, yeah, they've improved over the years, but they sure as hell can still give some dog takes. So, when I saw that they had released a video giving their top 10 of every Sonic games, I was expecting the worst of the worst. Like, we're talking Shadow of 5 in first place, Sonic Frontier in second, Mario and Sonic at the Rio 2016 Olympic Games in third. This game is trash, by the way. And you'd actually get good games like Mania in 8th or 9th. But to my surprise, they actually gave good opinions. Yeah, who would have thought that IGN could get their shit together and actually come out with something that I somewhat agree with. I mean, I do have problems with it, which is why I'm here to talk about it, you know, for fun. So, in 9th place, we have Sonic Unleashed. You know, I think most people can agree that Sonic Unleashed definitely had to be in the top 10 because it's a very, very good video game. And despite the fact that it was treated in a bizarre way when it was released, the opinions of it have went up drastically and people actually like this game now. My main issue with this placement of Unleashed is that IGN says that it's worse than Sonic Colors, which is not something that I agree with. I mean, most people can definitely agree that the boost levels are much better on Unleashed than in Colors. It's debatable on original hardware, mainly because the boost levels in Unleashed ran like a f***ing but with the definitive version of the game, it's no contest, Unleashed is way better. Though the deal breaker for most people is definitely the Werehog. Personally, I find the Werehog to be very enjoyable, but I do understand why people don't like it because this isn't exactly what they came here for, so I get where they're coming from. Next up in 8th place we have Sonic 2 and in 7th we have Sonic CD. You know, I don't know what the guy who made the review was smoking, but bottom of that to me, man, I gotta hit some. Discussing which game between Unleashed and Colors is better is mostly up to personal preference on whether you like the Werehog or not. But that discussion does not apply to Sonic 2 and Sonic CD. Sonic CD is objectively worse than Sonic 2. The level design is worse, the art direction is worse, the music... Well, okay, it does have better music, but still. And I respect Sonic CD a lot for its ideas and what it tries to accomplish. But I do not care enough about them to actually play the game. This game should not even have been on the list. In 6th place, we have Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Why is it so low on this list? Sonic 3 and Knuckles is by far one of the Sonic games with the least amount of flaws. Like, there isn't in Sonic 3 and Knuckles that one part of the game where you're just like, oh dude, this just sucks. I mean, maybe Metropolis, but like that's it though. Also, Sonic 3 Knuckles is by far the most polished Sonic game of all time, even more than something like Generations. But the most important thing is that the review took into account how well the game has aged, and Sonic 3 and Knuckles basically is just the standard for what you'd expect a 2D platformer to be nowadays. But that game released in 1993, that just shows you how far ahead this game was and how just impressive it is for the time. I just genuinely baffled that it managed to land so low on this list, but I'm still happy that the game managed to fall on the list, but it just had to be higher on the list, come on man. In 5th place, we have Sonic Colors. Now, the opinion of Colors has went down ever since that God of War Remaster came out. But I mean, if we're looking past some of the problems that were introduced with the most recent version, I still think it's pretty good. The game does have problems regarding the story, but hey, at least the gameplay is still pretty good. However, gotta be honest, out of all the Boost games, this is probably the one that I care the least about to play. Well, I mean, except for Forces, of course, but we don't talk about that. I'm still happy that it was on this list, but personally, I would have probably moved it to like A49. Don't think it should be here. In 4th place, we have Sonic Advance. Yeah, Sonic Advance. That's that's a good game. It's a great game. Yeah. Listen, I'm gonna be honest. I've never played Sonic Advance in my entire life. In 3rd place, we have Sonic Adventure 2. I just know that this is the part where the dislike ratio is going to fall through the floor with what I'm about to say, but I don't think SA2 should be in the top 3. Hell, I don't even think it should be on this list just in general. And before you bring out your pitchforks and you try to put me on a cross, let me explain. It's not that I don't like SA2, I f***ing love this game. But just looking at this game objectively, it has not aged well at all. The graphics don't look very good, especially compared to Sonic Heroes that came out 2 years later. The English dub is kinda bad, like yes, it's memorable, but oh boy, it really needs some sound editing.
Long time no see, treasure hunter. Did you find my emerald?
That's a good one. Your emerald. Talking to you is a waste of time. I found you, faker.
Faker? I think you're the fake hedgehog around here. You're comparing yourself to me? Huh? You're not even good enough to be mine.
And overall, you can just tell that Sonic team was still struggling to convert Sonic, a series that mainly works well into a 3D space. But even if you put the game is old argument aside, there are still some weird changes between SA1 and 2 that just makes the game worse for no reason. Like, for example, nerfing the radar in Treasure Hunter mode. Why? Making the mech more sluggish to control. I guess it was to make the game feel more realistic, but like, bro, it's a Sonic game, nobody cares. And even in the action stages, which are by far the best aspects of the game, for some reason they decided to map 4 actions to the same button. Why are you like this, Yuji Naka? I still think it's a pretty decent game, and every single person who wants to get into the Sonic series should definitely play it. But out of all the Sonic games, this and SA1 desperately needs a remake. In their current state, they just don't belong on this list. In 2nd place, we have Sonic Mania. What do you want me to say? It's Sonic Mania, one of the best reviewed Sonic games ever. I truly have nothing of value to say about it. Now the real question is, do I think it's better than Sonic 3 and Knuckles? Well, yes and no. I do think that Mania is the better game overall. It's way more accessible, the level design is better, the physics, while very barely different, are better on the retro engine than in Sonic 3 and Knuckles. And overall, just a bunch of small tweaks that make Sonic Mania just a much more enjoyable game than Sonic 3 and Knuckles. However, most of the content of Sonic Mania is ripped directly from its predecessors, so I would say that Sonic 3 and Knuckles is the better experience. Not only are all the environments more interesting, but also it has a much better story than Sonic Mania. But overall, I think the 2 games are pretty equal. And finally, in number 1, we have Sonic X Shadow Generations. And you know what? That's absolutely based. No, look, individually, I don't think that either of these games can qualify for the #1 spot for a number of reasons. Mainly, classic Sonic in Sonic Generations is very fun and has amazing level design, but it just doesn't have the Genesis accurate physics, so no matter what it does, it's very likely that it's going to be worse than Sonic Mania or Sonic 3 and Knuckles. And looking at Generations as a whole package, despite the fact that it's still the most polished Sonic game ever, it still has issues. Same for Shadow Generations. Not only do I think it's a bit worse than Shadow Gens, but it also suffers from a similar amount of jank.
Ooh, that brother's floating in the air. How could his hands do this? Oh, someone get him out the air.
However, combined together, it is the best Sonic game by a landslide. You get so much content for $50, and considering these games are meant to be time attacked, you can replay these games forever until the day you die. Honestly, if you've already played Sonic Generations, probably wait for a sale, because I don't think Shadow Generations is worth the $50. But if you've never played Sonic Generations, grab a copy of the game right now. Believe me, you will not regret it. This package is honestly fantastic. Sonic 3 and Knuckles might be close, but Generations is just slightly better. And that's it. Honestly, I'm quite shocked by this list. I mean, yeah, there are definitely games that I don't think should be there, looking at you, CD, and I also don't really agree with the order of these placements, but other than that, some very good choices. I'm very impressed. Oh wait, I'm getting a call. Hang on. Hello? What? Oh yeah, I forgot to talk about the game in 10th place. Yeah, okay, I'll take care of it. Alright, thanks, bye. Okay, so it turns out that I forgot to take a look at the game in 10th place. Let's see what it is. I take all of my compliments back. This company f***ing sucks!